Incident against one of the murder victims in Idaho. They say it relates to a man who was allegedly seen following Kaylee Goncalves at a local business. Police say it does not appear to be connected to the murders. Let's bring in Nancy Grace. So at least that's a little bit of a new nugget, but they apparently say it was an isolated incident. Nancy, what do you think?
Well, this is what we've learned. We believe that local business was a grocery store, and Kaylee Goncalves went into the grocery store, and then when she left, either one or two guys followed her out. Apparently, they were trying to meet women, pick up women in the grocery store. Now, is it isolated? I don't know. And according to some of the victims' families, they believe that cops are ruling people out much too quickly. I don't think you can separate a potential stalker who Kaylee told her father about. She told other people about it. She sold that vehicle. She publicized that she was moving across the country. Are they connected? You can't rule it out. I find it very interesting right now that there's a possibility, according to the father, that Kaylee Goncalves was in fact the target. Why? According to what we know now, the perp came in through the second floor sliding glass door. There he killed Ethan and Xana and then went upstairs. And that's where he killed Maddie and Kaylee. If the second floor inhabitants were the victim, he would not have gone upstairs to kill more and left the bottom two unharmed. Also, I think we're going to find blood evidence that would show the second floor victims were first, and there's blood evidence from them on the third floor. If we can isolate who is the victim, who is the target, that will go a long way in helping us find the suspect.
And yet, Nancy, here we are. We're 3.5 weeks since the incident. We have students, some who have not come back, doing it from Zoom. Some about to go on, many of them, they'll go on their Christmas vacations coming up pretty soon. And that means that, you have this killer out there who Paul Mauro told us the other day probably thinks that they can outlast the police here.
I think the killer is not entirely wrong. So far, I have totally supported the Idaho police. But when I hear Steve Goncalves speaking out, desperate, frustrated, angry, and I can hear his wife in the background, calm down, calm down. Number one thing you do is you speak to the murder victims' families and you assure them, you reassure them, you give them enough evidence to know you're working, you're going to find the killer. That's not happening here. They're having to go out in their mind and hire a private eye. That is all wrong. Clearly, the families are not feeling they're getting the information, and I believe they believe the cops are botching the investigation.
Well, Nancy Grace, we'll stay on top of this story, and I know you are.